Welcome to the arena of heated debates where every claim is scrutinized and no opinion goes unchecked. Let's dive into the fiery depths of dialogue.
So what are you out here doing tonight?
I'm protesting for myself.
Protesting against Donald Trump?
Yes.
And the Nazis?
And Pence, yes.
Are they Nazis?
I don't think they're Nazis. Other people can be though.
Who do you think are Nazis here?
The people that are racist.
Who do you think is racist here?
There are multiple people here that are. You can't ask me a broad question like that.
I'm just wondering, do you think it's all like the Trump supporters? Those are the racists?
Is that what I said?
I don't think so. I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to figure out who you think are racist.
Oh, I didn't give you an okay to do that. So
You did not consent. You did not consent to my question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, have a nice night.
An anti-Trump supporter gets flustered when labeled a Nazi, exposing the quick escalation of political rhetoric.
New Deal.
Okay. What do you like about the Green New
Wouldn't it be so nice
Deal?
if we didn't destroy our planet? I think that would be super dope.
I also.
And that seems like a really constructive plan to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really look at someone like her and think that like her particular plan is like the way to stop destroying the world. Specifically because she works in like United States government, but if you look at the countries that are actually like contributing the most to like the global decline as far as the environment, it'd be countries like China or India, less developed countries. And so I don't really see how like taxing America into basically a depression economically would be like fixing the planet. Well, we're not really doing anything, relatively speaking, that would do that.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's not.
A Wokey praises AOC and the Green New Deal, but stumbles when faced with the actual policies proposed, revealing gaps in understanding.
Question. Do you think if a liberal came to speak at University of Kentucky, they'd give an open mic like I just did to a conservative and had a discussion like this?
I certainly hope they would.
No, they wouldn't. Because speech is not a left-wing value. That's why Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor yesterday and called for the censorship of a cable television program. That is why they have to deploy shock troops called Antifa to go after everywhere I go. When I go to University of California, Davis next week, there has to be 120 police officers because of the threats, the violent threats of liberals that want me dead, that want to disrupt our events. There are no right-wing hecklers that come to events like this. Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, myself, Candace Owens need 24/7, 365 armed security to prevent ourselves from the violent threats from the left. And so I think it's rather clear there's one side that is trying to do everything they can to shut one side up and one side that's trying to open up the marketplace of ideas. And I think that's rather self-evident. But I do want to thank you for coming here.
Charlie Kirk highlights how some liberals advocate for free speech until it opposes their views, showcasing a fundamental contradiction.
This guy is trying to propagate anti-LGBTQ propaganda. He's trying to tell children that they are not allowed to be trans.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not. Come on, bro. Black nail polish on is a man, my bro. Stop talking. Stop talking. There is some religions you can't do that. Yeah, you have to respect that decision. But in religion, yeah. LGBTQ. But in some religions they accept that. But in our religion, you can't do that. So we don't agree with your faith. Thank you. What religion are you? What religion are you? Catholic. What are you then? What do you identify yourself as something, my bro? What do you identify as? Go on. What do you identify as? He doesn't have a religion. Alright, what do you identify yourself as? Okay. Yeah, you don't understand. Listen. Where you from?
Ironically, Palestine supporters advocating for LGBTQ+ rights reject the use of blockers for children, highlighting internal conflicts.
I can't, because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks different for everybody.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well, that's
how do you define a
someone
female?
with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to...
He dismantles a trans man's argument with a blend of logic and scientific facts, emphasizing the importance of grounded discussions.
You're not so this. Why did you run into me on purpose? It's 6 feet, so back up. Don't touch me. Hey!
Oh!
Get the out of here!
Get out there. Stop.
Go!
put your hands on her. Step back.
No, they're not. They just touched her first. So that's
No, we didn't. We got it on camera. Stop.
They need to go.
A Biden supporter loses composure and becomes physical with a reporter, crossing the line from debate to confrontation.
Because I'm concerned about terrorism of the Israeli state in invading Gaza, and 198 people have been killed since the ceasefire has ended. Innocent, unarmed Palestinians, and more or less to call for a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire.
What do you say to people who say there was a ceasefire before October 7th and this is why there's the fighting now?
Yeah, well, sometimes ceasefires break down. I was involved myself when the first Irish ceasefire broke down in January 19...
A wokey calls for a ceasefire from Israel, but dodges historical context, illustrating selective memory in political discussions.
So do you think voter ID laws suppress the African-American vote?
Yeah.
Why?
They might require a specific type of ID, when I had to get a new passport, it was over $100, so that definitely also roots out the lower classes in general.
They're not going to want to vote if they have to go spend all that money to be able to do so.
A lot of minorities are suffering from poverty. When you make people pay money to get IDs, a lot of times people just won't vote. They won't think it's worth it. They don't have the extra money to spend, Yeah, they're not going to put the couple dollars that they have into voting for somebody who's probably not even going to help them out.
Do you have an ID?
Yes, I do.
Can you show us your ID? What do you have to say to all the people that say that Black Americans can't get voter ID?
Well, I think it's pretty stupid. We're in a country where all of us are majority educated and we have the resources at our hands and our disposal to easily find these things. So I think...
Wokies label voter ID laws as racist. A black man steps in to educate them on the non-racial implications of such policies.
At all. I think that what we're seeing is children expressing or experimenting with their gender, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's a different thing.
Well,
expressing is different to experimenting.
If you look at what the headmaster said, not all of the kids are out and trans. Some of the kids are just experimenting or exploring their gender.
But isn't it dangerous, this,
nothing
Monroe?
wrong.
Even though, I completely support the ethos of genuine transgenderism, right? I support it. If people genuinely feel...
But you don't, Piers, because you bring gender-neutral people and non-binary people onto your show constantly and berate them.
Well, no, I bring them on and I challenge them.
Very consistently.
I challenge them about gender fluidity. That's where I have an issue.
That's still under the trans bracket.
Well, maybe, but I think...
No, not maybe, absolutely.
Gender fluidity to me is, I think it's a farce, personally, right? I think you...
That's your own bigoted opinion.
I don't think it's bigoted.
It is absolutely
bigoted. I don't think it's bigoted. But, if people who decide one day they're male, next day they're female, next day back to male...
A wokie receives a much-needed reality check through a robust discussion grounded in facts and logic.
Yes, a gun ban is absolutely what's necessary. I think that we need to start from scratch with the whole gun issue. We have people who think that it's okay to kill an intruder into their house. People who think that it's okay to kill an intruder into their house. If a intruder in your house came before a judge, they would not get the death penalty. Wouldn't happen. So we need to have a whole different...
An anti-gun wokie argues against defending one's home with force, sparking a debate on personal safety and rights. It's a woke professor on the inclusion of trans men in women's sports, using a clear, real-world example to argue his point.
The Black Lives Matter organization, this foundation in the USA, is a grift. They have received millions upon millions of dollars, I believe over $100 million, I think just in 2020, it was close to 100 million. So this organization has been capitalizing off of unfortunate deaths and tragedies and guilt-tripping people to send them lots of money and donations, which I believe most people think is going to go to a good cause. And instead, they are paying themselves 6- and 7-figure salaries. They're flying around in private jets. They bought a $6 million mansion. They've got over, what was it? It's written here. They have, I think, they invested $32 million in stocks in 2020 with donation money. So this is an outright scam. So When we talk about Black Lives Matter, it's important to note that this is a semantically overloaded phrase, intentionally. It refers to at least 3 different things. There is this—
A black man critically addresses BLM, using statistics to question the movement's direction and impact.
Be allowed at pride parades.
Definitely. Totally, 100%. Everyone should be allowed.
Everyone should be allowed. Yeah. Okay, cool. Just imagine
as long as they're celebrating and not protesting.
Sure, sure. Just imagine I've never been, for example. Just for argument's sake, say I've never been.
Go. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Okay, cool. A lot of the feedback from the culture at Parade is that there's a lot of kink culture. Is that the word? Kink culture?
Yes, that's the word.
There's whether it's partial or full. It depends on which part of the world you're in, I suppose. I don't know. Adult content. Is that age appropriate for children?
That's a very good question.
In general.
Yeah. I think it depends on what context, right? I don't think nudity is a bad thing at all. And I don't think that exposure to certain kinks is a bad thing at all either. It's just a part of our world and a part of the conversation you need to have with your children at some point. So I think it's always appropriate depending on the context.
A wokey claims exposure to nudity and kink at pride parades is beneficial, even for children, prompting a debate on appropriateness and boundaries.
Want to catch wokey moments in 4K? Watch till the end, subscribe, like the video, and comment wokies for a chance to win a brand new iPhone 16 or a cash prize. Also, don't forget to check out the next video on the end screen for more chances to win.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I really do not associate with high IQ, not gonna lie.
And that's your personal wrong opinion. That's fine.
I really don't associate
Dean's
the two.
List and honor roll.
That's society's boxes that are in your head. It's sad.
Yeah,
that's your own personal prejudice against women who embrace themselves.
No, what does that have to do with women?
Perfectly fine.
What is that? I said
Melania Trump.
Hang on. Did I say women or did I say corn star?
Am I not a woman?
And are men not corn stars?
Yeah.
Okay, then what is that? I said that I don't associate high IQ with corn stars. You said, oh, so you don't like women corn stars? You think they have low IQ?
You guys can
I think
generalize
all
and
corn
shit,
stars.
But we can't.
I think all corn stars, male and female, I would associate with having low IQs.
I would associate narcissistic bigots with having low IQs, personally.
So then you should stop being a narcissistic bigot.
That's not me.
Are you sure?
A man challenges a feminist OnlyFans creator on the topic of IQ, bringing intellectual scrutiny into social media debates.
Oh, with the idea of talking about mushrooms.
Yes.
That's why you launched this.
I have some gay mushrooms here.
Minister, you just wanted to do a segment about queer mushrooms.
Thank you for teeing up my gay mushrooms.
Wow.
They don't look very gay.
Wow.
I mean, they look like normal mushrooms to me.
Well,
are you feeling connection to these mushrooms?
Listen, I feel a connection to a lot of things, Piers, including yourself right now.
Really?
I would say that mushrooms scientifically have about 23,000 different genders. So that's where this exhibit is coming from.
23,000 genders of mushrooms.
Exactly.
Okay, there's not. This is a mushroom.
No, well, ask a scientist if you don't believe me.
I've got to ask a scientist. This is called a mushroom. That's it.
But they're fungi.
Are they sex mushrooms?
What? Sex is not about mushrooms, no.
So why are we having some queer celebration of things like mushrooms?
I just don't understand why you care. Why is this such a problem?
I care because I don't see the point of it.
Because, well, it's
We've just had Pride Month, where the entire month was taken up with turning everything LGBTQ, and now it's 2+ something else, right? It's extended. Right?
A quirky claim that mushrooms support LGBTQ+ diversity because of their species variety leads to bemused discussions on biological comparisons.
Man-induced or not is not the issue. It sort of is if you're standing here. No. Whether it's man-induced or not, it's not the issue. Yeah, the issue is we have to change. And we have to get adaptable, and we have to look at renewables. We have to clean up our act.
But if it's not man-induced, what will renewables help?
It will help.
How, if it's not man-induced? You're a scientist.
He corners a climate activist with their contradictory statements, highlighting the inconsistencies in their arguments.
What's going on? Don't touch anybody. Don't touch anyone. Get the out of here. It is a free country.
A man dressed as a woman at a pride event becomes aggressive with a cameraman, contradicting claims of inclusivity.
My response?
You're gonna say,
The New Testament. The New Testament.
You got to say.
Well, why'd you walk away?
Why'd you walk away?
So listen, the New Testament, it talks about if you're a slave, then if you can get free, then get free. But if you can't,
he gonna die soon anyway.
So it talks about if you can get free, then get free.
Pro-trans advocates get agitated by a preacher's mere presence, showing the tension between religious and progressive views.
Name 3 songs by Striper.
Don't touch my stuff.
Name them.
Don't touch my stuff.
3 songs by Striper. You're not a Christian if you can't name 3 songs by Striper.
Dude, who is Striper?
To hell with the devil.
Who's Striper?
They're the Christian metal band. You don't know any songs by Striper. You're not a Christian. You're not a Christian.
A Wokey tests a preacher on pop culture knowledge to validate his Christian faith, mixing religious credibility with trivial knowledge.
You think about the rioting and looting that has been going on in some parts of the country.
I can't say that it's wrong because it's not my place. I'm new to this movement, and I identify that, and I haven't had to deal with the feeling of or oppression towards myself. So I don't necessarily think that ongoing that it will be helpful, but I do think that it has brought attention to how much change is needed.
A Wokey BLM supporter justifies rioting and looting, sparking a debate on the limits of protest and civil disobedience. For more Wokey videos, click on the screen right now.